Hey everyone, Eggman here with another video, and we finally have some new Fusion World content to talk about. Obviously, the game was only announced back in August during Gen Con, but I've been hungry for some new cards. I know you guys have been hungry for some new cards too, and we're getting a couple of them today, at least to talk about with you guys. So, and kind of more of like the more design of what the game's going to look like. This information comes from the beginning of New York Comic Con, and I wouldn't be surprised if we get more cards and more stuff to talk about as the con continues. But we're just going to talk about the leaders for the starter decks. We kind of already knew what the red and blue one were, as long as the demo decks were accurate. But the Broly and the Frieza ones are new as well. But we're going to talk about all four of them in case you guys are new to kind of how this card game works and everything. So again, if you guys want more content and more of this for Fusion World, let me know in the comments below, and I'm really excited to kind of jump on into it. So we're going to start off with our basic kind of leaders we kind of knew about, and kind of just how it works in general. So because if you're from One Piece, a lot of this might kind of look similar kind of to how the card game works in general. And I would say, like, Dragon Ball One Piece was kind of an offshoot of Dragon Ball Super Masters, and so this is kind of in between Masters and One Piece in a lot of ways. And we're gonna kind of like all the leaders kind of have like an offshoot or kind of an analog to a leader for Masters as well. So we're gonna talk about that as well. But unlike leaders in One Piece, these leaders are double-sided. They have one effect and they have a power level. So for example, this Goku is 15k, and this is the new front or awakened side of it. I don't have the new back, or I guess front side of them, so we're going to just use the old image that we have for it. But in general, they're 15k in this game. They were 10k in the original game, then awoken into 15k more times than not. And then they have like an effective on the front side, and then they have a condition that flips them to the backside essentially. So for this Son Goku, it's a one attacking, draw one, and then on the awakened side, if your life is at 4 or less, you get to draw a card and then flip this card over. So pretty standard. And the backside, the same thing. When attacking, you get to draw a card, and then activate battle. Once per turn, you get to choose up to one of your battle cards, and it gets plus 5k power for the battle. And this is activate battle. And so also, if you're from One Piece, the timing means that in One Piece you only get like the defensive counter, but in this game you get both offensively and defensively counter. So that means you can combo cards out of your hand to offensively add power to it, essentially. So that's how that works in this game. So activate battle is on both players' turns, which means that you get essentially an extra 10k power split across both turns. So being able to make one of your better cards more powerful is very strong, especially since there are some keywords for some cards you want more powerful anyways, with like critical or double strike, which is the same as banish and double attack in One Piece as well. And I don't have like a straight like analog for this leader outright, at least like a Goku one, but I do think it reminds me a lot of the Pan leader. So this is from BT3, the third set, but this is kind of like one of the kind of cornerstones of leaders in the card game. Just the fact that you get like an effect that lets you give plus 5k power once per turn, which could be on either turn. It's based on playing a card, so it's kind of different from that, but it plays a lot of the same, where you play a lot of these grindy games and you just try to get as much value as possible. And I think the Son Goku kind of is a backbone of like getting a lot of value, getting a lot of like 5k boosts that kind of make trades really efficient for you, and just being kind of that kind of grindier mindset. So that's kind of my thoughts for Goku, and that's kind of like what I think of what it translates from a Dragon Ball Super Masters deck. And this leader did get rebooted, and it is super viable still with that new reboot as well, if you guys are interested in looking at it in Masters. So anyways, we have the starter deck 2 Vegeta, and again, you're going to see a lot of these front sides are going to be very the same. We do have one of them that's different, but I think this is the new standard for what leaders look like. Again, 15k power, one attack, you get to draw a card, and then at 4 or less life, you get to flip it over to draw a card and go from there. So and then again, the new front side, just art wise, but I will say, like, I do like the art styling from this. I haven't seen it in person, but it does look very, very pretty. And it has, again, when attacking, draw one, and then activate main once per turn. If you have 7 or fewer cards in your hand, this card gets plus 15k power for the turn. So it is strictly different than this Vegeta as well, but it does feel a lot of the same kind of game plan, where you just get this big boost. For this though, it's different, which is you just have to 7 or fewer cards in your hand, but it does remind me a lot of playing Star Deck 1 Vegeta in the early days of the Dragon Ball Super Masters card game, and I think that's really kind of the analog that they're trying to go for as well. So the fact that you don't have to take a card from your life, I think, is a boon for it, and it's really easy to have 7 or fewer cards in your hand to just get like a 35 5k attack for free, which is really nice. And I think that's really it. I think most people will say that this Vegeta of the two demo decks, the blue one was more powerful. And I kind of agree that, you know, the draw card and like it does have like ways to draw additional cards, and having 7 or fewer is a little bit easy to do in that card game too. It's just like a free 15k power, and you can do it like where you know you get the power and then you like counter, or like you just, you know, draw more cards, and it's viable. So anyways, that is the leader there. And then we're going into the newer ones, and we do have the Broly. I don't have a super good picture of the front side, but it is super unique to kind of talk about. So it's when attacking, draw 1 card, and then awaken. When your life is at 4 or less, you get to add 1 card from your hand to your life. Add 1 card from your life to your energy in rest mode, then flip this card over. So a really, really unique effect, and something that's, if you're playing like the original Dragon Ball Super card game, Masters, that it seems very weird to see the fact that green gets some ramp effect, which again doesn't happen very often, at least in the Masters format of this card game. But being able to, and this also means that this is technically a 3 life leader, because you lose the life immediately when you're at 4. But I do think the potential to like get that extra energy is really important. In the Masters card game, it's like any cards that give more cards or let you cheat up ramp energy or anything like that are very, very strong. And there's a lot of cards on the ban list that are in that category. So I think that's unique. And then also this Broly is a 25k base, so it's 5k more than the average leader. It has an activate main. Once per turn, you get to place 1 card from your energy in your drop, and you get to draw 1 card. And then this card gets plus 5k power during the turn. So it doesn't draw on attack on the awakened side, but the fact that it's a 25k means that it's the same as if you countered with or comboed with a 5k there. So that makes a difference. The fact that it's harder to get over on the defense side too means it's probably okay for being a 3 life leader. It's just like different tempo and different in a lot of ways, and I think that's really unique. And I think it's cool for this. And I'm really interested to see what green cards exist in this deck to facilitate the fact that you go up 1 more energy than your opponent. You get to take advantage of it, and then after you get to that energy gap, you can, you know, draw the cards, get the power, and I think that's cool too. So that's the leader. And kind of the one that I think is similar is the BT1. Obviously, I think there's going to be a color identity change between green in Masters and green in Fusion World, but the fact that you have like this weird restriction, like you do draw a card, but like you trade off of like drawing a card by having to choose a card from your hand and discard it from Broly. And I think this is going to be like very similar to what that looks like in set 1 from the original Dragon Ball Super. And then lastly, we have Frieza, and this one's the most interesting for me out the gate. I guess we're correct. The front side is the same as the other 3. I guess the Goku and the Vegeta. Just draw 1 card, 4 or less, draw 1, flip over. But the Awakened side is when attacking, you get to draw a card, and end of turn, choose up to 2 of your battle cards and switch them to active mode. So this card almost systematically exists in the original Dragon Ball Super Masters. It's the BT1 Frieza, but not the real BT1 Frieza, because there's 2. And one of them is the crowd favorite. It's the Golden Frieza that still sees play in the current format of Dragon Ball Super Masters right now, like 5+ years later, which is really bonkers to me. And I think it is a fan favorite. But this Frieza came out at the same time, and it was never super viable, but it does have the potential to be a very strong effect. So being able to get that momentum back, and let's say you have some blockers out, being able to attack with them and get them back too. And something else that's different in this game compared to like One Piece, and if you have a card in your battle area, you can use it to combo from the battle area, which is not allowed in One Piece. So being able to do that, and it was the worst case, you get those cards that you can get back, but it also means that if your opponent wants to attack into anything, they have to attack into you. I think that is more important on the front side of Frieza, but I'd want to see what the kit is for this leader. They can definitely make some cards that say, auto, when this card restands, you get to do blank effect, which is really nice. So I'd be really interested with it. I think it's really cool that they pretty much used a leader that didn't really see that much play in the original card game and try to make it relevant in this card game. I do also hope they make the Golden Frieza leader in some aspect, because that is a crowd favorite, and I think it's a very strong one as well. But that's going to be it for this video. Let me know which one of these leaders you guys are most looking forward to. I'd probably say the Green Brawly is obviously the most interesting one. It's the most unique for them, and it has a different play style. And again, I'd be really interested to see what cards come with it to make it worth running these cards too. So that's going to be it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you guys are excited for. Let me know what other content you want from Fusion World, and I'll catch you all next time.
Damn it. Damn it.